So, Marvel fans are pretty excited for the Fantastic Four to come to the MCU. This is not just because these characters have had several shitty films over at Fox, but because we want to see how they will play with the MCU characters that we already know and love. Now, with the recent news about the MCU doing series on the Disney streaming service that will connect to the MCU and star MCU characters, I wanted to explain why I think the Fantastic Four would be perfect for an introduction on such a show. That's right, I think Marvel's first family will likely be introduced on this kind of a streaming show, and I have a couple of different reasons why I think this will work brilliant. What is up, everybody? I'm Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. If you love Marvel movies, definitely subscribe to this channel. We cover a lot of the Marvel movie talk over here. Now, if you somehow missed the news earlier in the week, Variety did a report talking about how there is a plan at Marvel Studios to do streaming shows on the coming Disney streaming platform, which will directly tie into the MCU and even use the actors that are in the MCU. By the way, total side note, definitely subscribe to this channel. I do a news show 5 days a week called the Nerdy News Rundown. So if you don't want to miss out on all the nerdy news that's happening, come on over, get your news over here. We will keep you informed. So yeah, so that's a thing, and I believe that the Fantastic Four would be best served if they were introduced in this kind of a show. Now, let me explain why. There's a couple of different reasons. Number one, Marvel is tired of traditional origin stories. I mean, the last one we really got was Doctor Strange, and even that was sort of streamlined. Now, when you look at the coming Captain Marvel movie, they are doing an origin, but sort of doing the origin via flashbacks and the memories that she'll sort of reacquire over the course of the film. Now, when you look at characters like Black Panther and Spider-Man, they were not given origins, and they were actually introduced in other movies and then given their own solo films. Overall, the traditional origin film for a comic book character feels pretty played out. Marvel's not really interested in doing it. Fans are not really interested in watching it. So it's clear that the traditional origin thing not going to work. However, when it comes to the Fantastic Four particularly, the origin is so integral to understanding and believing the dynamic that is set up with that team. They are a family, they have all of this drama together, and the creation of their powers and what happens right after that is like very, very important to the Fantastic Four. So the first reason why I think doing the introduction in a show like this is so good is that Marvel would essentially get to have their cake and eat it too. They would get to do what should be done with the Fantastic Four, and that is a proper origin story, and yet they won't have to take up a film slot and ask movie-going audiences to sit through another one of these origins. They'll get to take their time, and with this long-form type of a setting, you could really do that origin well, spread it out over several episodes, and sort of hit both of these points. Not do it in the films, but give it its due. Another reason that I think the series would fit for the Fantastic Four is because of the family dynamic. You see, the Fantastic Four is really a family book about drama that basically all families have to do with. There is drama before the incident that gives them their power, there's a lot of drama after that, and then there is drama as they come back together and reform their family unit. I have even heard it said by a lot of different people that this is really the core reason that a lot of the Fantastic Four movies did not exactly work. It's because this family element takes a lot of time to establish, and when you have a movie, you sort of have to force that dynamic right away, have the drama, and then sort of have them come back together, and it never really comes off as organic or believable. I mean, look at the way that other shows handle family dynamics. There's been a lot of great examples in television of a family show that takes place in, many episodes, and that's really how you come to understand and learn the family dynamic. I mean, you can look at Full House or Fuller House. You can look at the new Lost in Space. You can look at Ozark. You can look at Empire. All of these different shows have to do with families. They have to do with family dynamics, and they're really served by the form of television because it's more long form. We'll likely see stuff like sibling squabbles, marital arguments with Reed and Sue, jealousy issues. All of these different things will play out over episode after episode, and you'll basically be able to cheat and jump the Fantastic Four ahead and on the level of the MCU characters. A lot of what makes the Marvel movies so compelling is that we know these characters so well, we spent so much time with them that we have already caked in expectations of how these interactions will go with each character. You can kind of say, oh yeah, that's totally how that character would react. Oh man, that character better not say that to that character, and different things like that. In a lot of ways, the MCU is actually serialized television, but done via movies. That is part of what makes it so successful. Now, the last reason I think this would be so cool is because you can do the villain of the week kind of thing and have the Fantastic Four fight many different villains, learn many lessons, and get better at using their powers as a unit. As it stands, if you did a single film with an origin, there'd probably have to be a main villain, and you wouldn't see a lot of growth in the characters. So if we get the opportunity to do this in serialized form, all on that streaming service, man, you could really see a lot of different cool like villains from the rogues gallery of the Fantastic Four, and you could see a lot of growth of the characters themselves and how they utilize their power. So that is going to do it for this video. Just my thoughts on why I think the Fantastic Four in the MCU should be introduced via one of these streaming shows. I want to know what everybody thinks about this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Tell me why. Let's have a conversation about this in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.